The rain battered the diner's windows, each drop a tiny fist against Emma's world. She sat alone in the corner booth, her coffee cold, her heart colder, staring at the letter in her trembling hands. Her mother's words sharp, unforgiving, cut deeper than any storm. "You're no daughter of mine if you choose this sin." Emma, 28, had spent her life bending backward for her family. In the small town of Willow Creek, Ohio, where everyone knew your name and your secrets, she'd been the perfect daughter. Straight-A student, church volunteer, the one who held her fractured family together after her father's death. She'd worked double shifts at this very diner, saving every penny to keep her mother, Susan, and her younger sister, Mia, afloat. But now, as she read the letter again, the weight of her sacrifice pressed against her chest like a stone. Her mother had found out about Lily, her love, her secret, and had chosen to cast her out. Across town, Lily, 27, paced her tiny apartment, her long black hair swaying with each anxious step. She'd moved to Willow Creek 2 years ago, a city girl seeking quiet after a messy breakup. She hadn't expected to find Emma, with her quiet strength and hazel eyes that seemed to carry the weight of the world. Their first meeting at the library, Emma shelving books, Lily asking for a recommendation, had sparked something neither could ignore. Stolen glances turned into late-night talks, then into something deeper, something that felt like home. But now, with Susan's ultimatum hanging over Emma, Lily feared their love might unravel before it could fully bloom. Emma folded the letter, her fingers lingering on the creases. She'd always known her mother was devout, her faith a steel cage around her heart. But this was betrayal. A knife twisted by the one person Emma had spent her life protecting. She glanced out the window, where the rain blurred the neon sign of the diner, Maggie's place, the only constant in her chaotic life. She thought of Lily, of the way her laugh could light up even the darkest nights, and felt a spark of defiance. She wasn't ready to let go. Not yet. The diner door chimed and Lily stepped inside, soaked from the rain, her sundress clinging to her frame. Emma's breath caught. Even now, with everything crumbling, Lily was a vision, her dark eyes searching, her presence a lifeline. Lily said softly, sliding into the booth. "You didn't answer my texts. I was worried." Emma slid the letter across the table. Lily's eyes scanned the words, her face paling. "She can't mean this," Lily whispered, her voice breaking. "She can't just throw you away." "She did," Emma said, her voice steady despite the ache. "She wants me to choose her or you." Lily reached for Emma's hand, but Emma pulled back, not because she didn't want the touch, but because it felt too dangerous, too raw. "I can't lose you," Lily said, her voice fierce. "But I won't make you choose. I won't let her tear us apart." Emma looked into Lily's eyes, seeing the fire there, the same fire that had drawn her in from the start. She wanted to believe they could fight this, that love could be enough. But Willow Creek was a small town, and small towns had long memories. The whispers had already started, Mrs. Carter at the grocery store, the sidelong glances at church. And now, her mother's letter was a declaration of war. "I've given her everything," Emma said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I stayed in this town when I could have left. I worked myself to the bone to keep her house, to send Mia to college. And this is what I get." Lily leaned closer, her voice soft but unyielding. "You're not alone in this, Em. We'll figure it out. Together." Emma wanted to believe her. She wanted to cling to the hope in Lily's words. But the weight of her mother's betrayal was a storm she wasn't sure they could weather. As the rain pounded outside, Emma felt the first cracks in her resolve, but also the first stirrings of a fight she hadn't known she had in her. The next morning, Emma stood outside her childhood home, a modest 2-story house with peeling paint and a garden her mother tended religiously. She hadn't slept, her mind replaying the letter, Lily's words, the life she'd built and was now at risk of losing. She knocked, her heart pounding. Susan answered, her face a mask of disapproval, her gray hair pulled tightly back. "Emma," she said coolly, stepping aside. Inside, the house smelled of lavender and old wood, a mix of comfort and confinement. Mia, 19, was at college, leaving the house eerily quiet. Emma sat at the kitchen table, where she'd once done homework under her mother's watchful eye. Now those eyes were cold, judgmental. "Why?" Emma asked, her voice breaking the silence. "After everything I've done, why would you write that letter?" Susan's lips thinned. I raised you to follow God's path. What you're doing with that girl. It's a sin, Emma. I won't condone it. Emma's hands clenched. You think love is a sin? Lily's the only thing keeping me sane in this town. She's not some mistake I made. Susan stood, her voice rising. You're choosing her over your family. Over me. I won't have it under my roof. Emma felt the words like a slap. Your roof? I've paid the mortgage for years. I've kept this family together while you grieved Dad, while Mia struggled. And now you're telling me I'm not welcome. Susan's eyes flickered, but her resolve held. You can stay if you end it with her. Repent. Be the daughter I raised. Emma stood, her chair scraping the floor. I'm still your daughter. But I'm also me and I love her. If you can't accept that, then you're the one breaking this family. She left before Susan could respond, her heart racing. Outside, the air felt lighter but the pain lingered. She drove to Lily's apartment, needing her warmth, her strength. When Lily opened the door, Emma didn't hesitate. She pulled her into a kiss, fierce and desperate, as if it could hold the world at bay. I told her, Emma said, pulling back. I told her I'm not giving you up. Lily's eyes shone with tears, but she smiled. Then we fight. For us. But as they held each other, Emma knew it wouldn't be easy. Willow Creek wasn't kind to those who didn't fit its mold, and Susan's rejection was only the beginning. The town's judgment, the whispers, the weight of her sacrifices, they were all closing in. Yet in Lily's arms Emma felt a flicker of hope, a reason to keep fighting. The weeks that followed were a battlefield of silence and stares. Emma moved out of her mother's house, her belongings stuffed into 2 suitcases, and into Lily's cramped apartment. The space was small, but it was there's a sanctuary of mismatched furniture and shared dreams. Yet the town's eyes followed them. At the diner, customers whispered when Emma served their coffee. At the library, where Lily now worked part-time, old classmates gave her cold shoulders. Willow Creek was tightening its grip, and Emma felt it in every glance. One evening, as they cooked dinner, Lily chopping vegetables, Emma stirring a pot of soup, the tension broke. I heard Mrs. Carter talking at the store today, Lily said, her knife pausing. She called us those girls. Said we're a bad influence on the kids. Emma's grip on the spoon tightened. Let them talk. They don't know us. But the words stung. Emma had grown up with these people, attended their barbecues, helped their kids with homework. Now she was an outsider in her own home. She thought of Mia, who hadn't called since the letter. Her sister's silence hurt almost as much as her mother's words. Lily set down her knife and wrapped her arms around Emma from behind. We're stronger than their gossip, she murmured. We have to be. Emma leaned into her, closing her eyes. I keep thinking about Mia. She's caught in the middle of this. I don't want her to hate me. Lily turned Emma to face her. She's your sister. She'll come around. Give her time. But time felt like a luxury they didn't have. The next day, Emma got a call from the diner's manager, Tom. I'm sorry, Em, he said, his voice heavy. Some customers complained. They don't want you serving them. I've got to cut your shifts. Emma stood frozen in the diner's back room, the phone still in her hand. She'd worked there since she was 16, pouring her life into keeping her family afloat. Now even that was slipping away. She didn't tell Lily right away. She couldn't bear the worry in her eyes. Instead, she picked up extra hours at a gas station outside town, the night shifts leaving her exhausted but determined. One night, after a grueling shift, Emma came home to find Lily sitting on the couch, holding a letter. It's from Mia, Lily said, her voice cautious. Emma's heart leapt, then sank. She tore open the envelope, her eyes scanning the words. Em, I don't know what to say. Mom's a mess and I'm trying to understand. I don't hate you, but I don't get it either. I need time. Emma's throat tightened. It wasn't acceptance, but it wasn't rejection either. She handed the letter to Lily, who read it silently. She's trying, Lily said softly. That's something. Emma nodded, but the weight of it all, her mother's betrayal, the town's judgment, her sister's distance, was crushing. She sank onto the couch, burying her face in her hands. Lily sat beside her, pulling her close. We're going to make it, Lily whispered. You and me. The next Sunday, Emma made a decision. She hadn't been to church since the letter, But she needed answers not from her mother, but from the community that had shaped her. She walked into Willow Creek Baptist, her chin high, Lily by her side. The pews fell silent as they entered, eyes boring into them. Pastor John, a kind man in his 60s, paused his sermon. Emma felt Lily's hand tremble in hers, but she squeezed it tightly. "Emma," Pastor John said, his voice gentle but firm. "It's good to see you." The congregation murmured, some with warmth, others with disdain. Emma stood tall. "I've given everything to this town," she said, her voice carrying. "I've loved you all, helped you all. But I love Lily too, and that doesn't make me less of a person. If you can't see that, then you're the ones who've lost your way." The silence was deafening. Then an older woman, Mrs. Thompson, stood. "You've always been good to us, Emma," she said. "I don't understand your choices, but I know your heart. You're welcome here." A few nodded, others looked away. It wasn't a victory, but it was a crack in the wall. As they left, Lily whispered, "You're incredible." Emma smiled, but the fight was far from over. Her mother's rejection still loomed, and Mia's uncertainty hung heavy. Yet, standing with Lily, she felt a strength she hadn't known she had. They were building something real, something worth fighting for, even if the cost was everything she'd once held dear. Winter came to Willow Creek, blanketing the town in snow and silence. Emma and Lily's apartment became their refuge, a place where they could shut out the world's judgment. But the cracks in their foundation were growing. Emma's reduced hours at the diner and her gas station job barely covered rent, and the strain was showing. She'd catch Lily staring out the window, her face clouded with worry, and it broke her heart. One evening, as they sat on the couch watching an old movie, Lily broke the silence. "I got a job offer," she said, her voice hesitant. "In Chicago. It's at a library, full-time, good pay." Emma's stomach dropped. Chicago was a world away from Willow Creek, away from her mother, her sister, the life she'd always known. "That's amazing," she said, forcing a smile. "But what does it mean for us?" Lily took her hand. "I want you to come with me. We could start fresh, away from all this." Emma's mind raced. Leaving meant abandoning Mia, giving up on her mother, letting go of the town she'd fought for. But staying meant more whispers, more rejection, more of her mother's cold silence. She looked at Lily, her anchor in the storm, and felt torn in two. "I need to talk to Mia first," Emma said. "I can't just leave her." Lily nodded, but her eyes held a flicker of fear. "I know. But we can't keep living like this. You're killing yourself to prove something to people who don't deserve it." The next day, Emma drove to Mia's college, 2 hours away. The campus was alive with students, their laughter a stark contrast to the weight in Emma's chest. Mia met her at a coffee shop, her brown hair tied back, her eyes guarded. They hugged, but it felt fragile, like something could break with the wrong word. "I got your letter," Emma said, stirring her coffee. I need to know where we stand." Mia sighed, looking down. "Mom's been talking to me, saying you're throwing your life away. I don't believe her, but it's hard, Em. You're my sister, but this is all so new to me." Emma's heart ached, but she kept her voice steady. "I love Lily, Mia. I've spent my life taking care of you and Mom, but I need to live for me too. Can you understand that?" Mia's eyes softened. "I'm trying. I don't want to lose you." "You won't," Emma said, reaching for her hand. "But I might leave Willow Creek. Lily got a job in Chicago, and I'm thinking of going with her." Mia's face fell. "What about Mom? She's not okay, Em. She's angry, but she's hurting too." Emma swallowed the lump in her throat. She made her choice. "I can't keep begging for her love." The drive back was quiet, Emma's mind a tangle of hope and guilt. When she told Lily about the conversation, Lily pulled her into a hug. "You're doing the right thing," she said. "For you. For us." But the decision wasn't easy. Emma spent nights awake, torn between her love for Lily and her duty to her family. One morning, as she shoveled snow from the apartment's walkway, a car pulled up. It was Susan. Emma froze, her shovel still in hand. "We need to talk," Susan said, her voice softer than Emma expected. They sat in the car, the heater humming. "I've been praying," Susan said. "I don't understand your life, Emma, but I see how much you're hurting. I don't want to lose you." Emma's eyes stung. You already did, Mom. You pushed me away. Susan looked down, her hands twisting in her lap. I was wrong to write that letter. I was scared, but I'm trying to understand. Can you give me a chance? Emma wanted to believe her, but the pain was still raw. I'm moving to Chicago with Lily, she said. I need to live my truth. If you want to be part of my life, you have to accept her too. Susan nodded, tears in her eyes. I'll try. For you. It wasn't a promise, but it was a start. As Susan drove away, Emma felt a weight lift, but the road ahead was still uncertain. She and Lily began planning their move, packing boxes, dreaming of a city where they could be themselves. But Willow Creek wasn't done with them yet, and Emma knew the town's judgment would follow them, even across state lines. Spring arrived as Emma and Lily prepared to leave Willow Creek. Their apartment was a maze of boxes, each one a step toward a new life. Emma had found a job at a Chicago cafe, and Lily's library position was confirmed. The future felt bright, but the past clung to them like damp earth. One afternoon, Emma got a call from Pastor John. Your mother's been coming to counseling sessions at the church, he said. She's struggling, but she wants to make things right. She asked me to talk to you. Emma's heart wavered. She wanted to trust Susan's change of heart, but the letter still haunted her. She agreed to meet her mother at the church, Lily by her side. The sanctuary was quiet, sunlight streaming through stained glass. Susan sat in a pew, her face softer than Emma had seen in months. I've been wrong, Susan said, her voice trembling. I thought I was protecting you, but I was pushing you away. I don't understand everything, but I want to try. For you and for Lily. Lily squeezed Emma's hand, her eyes cautious but hopeful. Emma took a deep breath. I'm glad you're trying, Mom. But we're leaving. We need a fresh start. If you want to be part of our lives, you can visit. You can call. But you have to accept us. Susan nodded, tears falling. I will. I promise. The meeting was a fragile bridge, but it was enough for now. Emma felt a mix of relief and skepticism she'd been burned before. As they left the church, Lily said, That was brave, Em. You gave her a chance without losing yourself. Emma smiled, pulling Lily close. I learned that from you. The move to Chicago was chaotic, loading a U-Haul, saying goodbye to the diner, the library, the town that had shaped and scarred them. Mia came to help, her presence a quiet reassurance. I'm proud of you, she told Emma, hugging her tightly. I'll visit soon. I promise. In Chicago, their new apartment was small but bright, with a view of the city skyline. Emma felt a thrill every time she walked its streets, anonymous among the crowds. No one here knew her past, her sacrifices, her mother's letter. She and Lily built a life, coffee dates, late-night talks, moments of joy untainted by judgment. But the past wasn't gone. One evening, Emma got a call from Mrs. Carter, the gossip from Willow Creek. Your mother's not doing well, she said. She's been sick, and she's too proud to tell you. Emma's heart sank. She called Susan, who admitted she'd been diagnosed with early-stage cancer. I didn't want to worry you, Susan said. You're starting your new life. Emma and Lily drove back to Willow Creek that weekend. The town felt smaller, its judgment less heavy now that they had a new home. At Susan's house, Emma found her mother thinner, frilier, but still stubborn. I'm fine, Susan insisted, but her eyes betrayed her fear. Emma stayed for a week, helping with doctor's visits, cooking meals, tending the garden. Lily was there too, quietly supportive, even when Susan's old discomfort surfaced. One night, as Emma tucked her mother into bed, Susan grabbed her hand. I'm sorry, she whispered. For everything. I see how happy Lily makes you. I was wrong. Emma's throat tightened. I forgive you, Mom. But you need to keep trying. For both of us. Susan nodded, and for the first time, Emma saw a glimmer of real change. As they drove back to Chicago, Lily said, You're amazing, you know that? You gave her everything, even after she hurt you. Emma smiled, her heart lighter. I gave her what I could. Now I'm giving us everything. A year later, Chicago had become home. Emma and Lily's apartment was filled with plants, books, and laughter, a testament to the life they'd built. Emma worked at the cafe, her smile brighter than ever, while Lily thrived at the library, curating events for the community. They were free, not just from Willow Creek's judgment, but from the weight of hiding who they were. Susan visited often, her health improving after treatment. She was still learning, still stumbling, but she tried. She'd sit with Lily, asking about her work, her life, slowly building a bond. Mia came too, her visits full of college stories and sisterly teasing. The family was healing. Not perfect but whole in a new way. One spring evening, Emma and Lily walked along Lake Michigan, the city lights reflecting on the water. Emma stopped, pulling Lily close. "I have something for you," she said, her voice nervous. She pulled out a small box, revealing a simple silver ring. "I gave everything for my family," Emma said, her eyes shining. "But you're my family now. Will you marry me?" Lily's laugh was a mix of tears and joy. "Yes," she said, kissing Emma fiercely. 1,000 times yes. They married in a small ceremony, surrounded by new friends and a few from Willow Creek, including Pastor John and Mrs. Thompson. Susan was there, her smile tentative but genuine. Mia was Emma's maid of honor, her pride unmistakable. The day was a celebration of love, resilience, and the family they'd chosen. As they danced under string lights, Emma thought of the letter, the pain, the sacrifices. She'd given her all for her family, only to face betrayal. But in that betrayal she'd found her truth, her strength, her Lily. The agony had led to Thea's a life where love was enough, where she was enough. Their story wasn't just about surviving judgment. It was about thriving beyond it. Emma and Lily had built a world where they could love freely, where family wasn't defined by blood alone, but by the hearts willing to grow. And as they held each other, the lake breeze carrying their laughter, Emma knew they'd won not just against a town, but for a life that was wholly beautifully theirs. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe to get notifications about next videos.